King Edward was sick, and so was his kingdom. Family hated family, brother hated brother, and none hated more venomously than Richard, Duke of Gloucester, the world and his brother the king.
Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York. But I that am deformed, unfinished, have no delight to pass away the time, and therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, I am determined to prove a villain.
A fierce ambition burned in the dark heart of the king's hunchback brother. He would be king. But others of his own family still stood in his way.
Brother, good day. What means this armored guard?
His Majesty hath appointed this conduct to convey me to the tower.
Upon what cause?
A wizard told him that by G his issue disinherited should be, and for my name of George begins with G, it follows in his thought that I am he.
Brother, farewell. I will unto the king. Your imprisonment shall not be long. I will deliver you, or else lie for you.
Go, tread the path that thou shalt ne'er return. I do love thee so that I will shortly send thy soul to heaven.
One step nearer. But now he needed a well-born wife, and who better than the Lady Anne?
I'll marry Warwick's youngest daughter. What, though I killed her husband and her father?
Set down, your honourable load.
The readiest way to make the wench amends is to become her husband and her father.
Poor key-cold figure of a holy king, be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost to hear the lamentations of poor Anne. Come now with your holy load.
Villain, set down the course.
Foul devil! For God's sake, hence, and trouble us not.
Sweet saint, for charity be not so cursed.
Oh, gentlemen, see, dead Henry's wounds open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Blush, blush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that exhales this blood.
Lady, you know no rules of charity.
Villain, thou knowest no law of God nor man. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye, the better for the King of Heaven that hath him.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
Out of my sight!
Your beauty was the cause. Your beauty that did haunt me in my sleep to undertake the death of all the world.
If thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, here I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now dispatch. 'Twas I that stabbed young Edward, but 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
I would I knew thy heart.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look how my ring encompasseth thy finger. Even so thy breast encloseth my poor heart. Was ever woman in this humour wooed? Was ever woman in this humour won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long.
The king's sickness had deepened. The queen was filled with dread. Should he die, her sons, the little princes, were too young to rule. With their uncle, George, Duke of Clarence, in the Tower, Richard, the third brother, would be protector. And the hunchback hated her and all her family.
He cannot live, I hope, and and must not die till George be packed with post-horse up to heaven.
In God's name, what art thou?
A man as you are.
Who sent you hither? Wherefore do you come? To murder me? Wherein, my friends, have I offended you?
Offended us you have not, but the king.
I will send you to my brother Gloucester, who shall reward you better for my life than Edward will for tidings of my death. You are deceived. Your brother Gloucester hates you.
'Tis he that sends us to destroy you here.
Richard had murdered his brother only just in time. King Edward was dead. All that remained between the hunchback and the crown were the little princes. In despair, the Queen sent her own brothers to Ludlow to secure her two sons before it was too late. But Richard had a clever friend, the Duke of Buckingham.
My lord, whoever journeys to the prince, for God's sake, let not us two stay at home.
My dear cousin, I, as a child, will go by thy direction. Towards Ludlow, then.
The Queen's brothers were seized by Richard's men and put to death, and Edward, Prince of Wales, brought to London.
Ay me, I see the ruin of our house. The tiger now hath seized the gentle hind. Come, come, my boy, we will to sanctuary.
Welcome, dear cousin. The weary way hath made you melancholy.
No, uncle, but our crosses on the way have made it tedious. I thought my mother and my brother York would long ere this have met us on the way. Welcome, my lords. Will our mother come?
The Queen, your mother, and your brother York have taken sanctuary.
Fie, what an indirect and peevish course is this of hers. Lord Cardinal, will your grace persuade the Queen to send the Duke of York unto his princely brother presently?
God in heaven forbid we should infringe the sacred privilege of blessed sanctuary.
Oft have I heard of sanctuary men, but sanctuary children never till now.
Good lords, make all the speedy haste you may. Say, Uncle Gloucester, if our brother come, where shall we sojourn till our coronation?
If I may counsel you, some day or two your highness shall repose you at the Tower.
I do not like the Tower.
Now, in good time, here comes the Duke of York.
Richard of York, how fares our loving brother?
Well, my lords,
How fares our cousin, noble Lord of York?
I thank you, gentle uncle.
My lord, will't please you pass along? Myself will to your mother, to entreat of her to meet you at the Tower.
What? Will you go into the Tower, my lord?
My Lord Protector needs will have it so.
I shall not sleep in quiet at the Tower.
Why, what should you fear?
My Uncle Clarence angry ghost.
I fear no uncle's dead.
Nor none that live, I hope.
With the two little princes mewed up in the tower, Richard's way to the throne was clear. But before he could proclaim himself king, he needed the assent of Lord Hastings, the Lord Chamberlain.
What shall we do if we perceive Lord Hastings will not yield to our complots?
Chop off his head, man.
When I am king, claim thou of me the earldom of Hereford.
I'll claim that promise at your grace's hand.
In the middle of the night, Sir William Catesby, another friend of Richard's, was sent to rouse Lord Hastings from the bed he shared with pretty Mistress Shaw and sound him out.
What news? What news in this our tottering state?
It is a reeling world indeed, my lord, and will never stand upright till Richard wear the garland of the realm.
Dost thou mean the crown?
Aye, my good lord.
I'll have this crown of mine cut from my shoulders before I'll see the crown so foul misplaced.
God keep your lordship in that gracious mind.
Lord Hastings was invited to dine in the Tower. Believing it was to name the day for the crowning of little Prince Edward as England's rightful king, he went cheerfully. It would be a good dinner.
Now, noble peers, the cause why we are met is to determine of the coronation. When is the royal day?
Tomorrow is, I judge, a happy day.
Who knows the Lord Protector's mind herein?
Your Grace, we think, should soonest know his mind.
Lord Hastings, you and he are near in love.
I thank his Grace. I know he loves me well. But for his purpose in the coronation, I have not sounded him. But you, my honourable lords, may name the time, and in the Duke's behalf I'll give my voice.
My noble lords and cousins all, good morrow.
Had you not come upon your cue, my lord, William Lord Hastings had pronounced your part. I mean, your voice for crowning of the king.
That my Lord Hastings no man might be bolder. My Lord of Ely, when I was last in Holborn, I saw good strawberries in your garden there. I do beseech you send for some of them.
Marry and will, my lord, with all my heart.
Cousin of Buckingham, a word with you.
Hastings had opposed his coronation. Hastings must die.
I pray you all, tell me what they deserve that do conspire my death with devilish plots of damned witchcraft, and that have prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms.
I say, my lord, they have deserved death.
Then be your eyes the witness of their evil. See how I am bewitched! And this is Edward's wife, that monstrous witch consorted with that harlot strumpet Shaw, that by their witchcraft thus have mocked me.
If they have done this deed, my noble lord,
If thou protector of this damned strumpet, talk'st thou to me of ifs? Thou art a traitor, off with his head. Now, by Saint Paul, I will not dine until I see the same. So dear I loved the man that I must weep.
Long live King Richard, England's worthy king.
Long live King Richard!
While Richard walked in glory, 3 women stood before the Tower in wretchedness and grief. Richard's unhappy wife, the Lady Anne, the Queen, mother of the 2 little princes, and the mother of the hunchback himself, the Duchess of York.
Oh, my accursed womb, the bed of death! A cockatrice hast thou hatched to the world, whose unavoided eye is murderous.
He hates me, and will, no doubt, shortly be rid of me.
Pity you ancient stones, those tender babes. Rough cradle for such little pretty ones. Use my babies well.
Shall we wear these glories for a day, or shall they last?
Forever let them last.
Young Edward lives. Think now what I would speak.
Say on, my loving lord.
Cousin, thou wast not wont to be so dull. Shall I be plain? I wish the bastards dead. What sayest thou now?
Your grace may do your pleasure.
Tut, tut, thou art all ice. Say, have I thy consent that they shall die?
Give me some little breath, some pause, before I positively speak in this.
High-reaching Buckingham grows circumspect. No more shall he be neighbor to my counsels. Come hither, Catesby. Rumor it abroad that Anne, my wife, is very grievous sick. I say again, give out that Anne, my queen, is sick and like to die. About it.
To keep the crown, he needed a better marriage. Once rid of Anne, he would marry Elizabeth, sister of the two little princes.
My lord, I have considered in my mind the late request that you did sound me in.
Well, let that rest.
My lord, I claim the gift, my due by promise, the earldom of Hereford.
I am not in the giving vein today.
And is it thus? Repays he my deep service with such contempt? Made I him king for this? Oh, let me think on Hastings, and be gone.
Darest thou resolve to kill a friend of mine?
Please you, but I'd rather kill two enemies.
Why, then thou hast it, two deep enemies. Tyrrell, I mean those bastards in the tower.
I will dispatch it straight.
The sons of Edward sleep in Abraham's bosom, and Anne, my wife, hath bid this world good night. Now, for I know that Richmond aims at young Elizabeth, my brother's daughter, and by that knot looks proudly on the crown. To her go I, a jolly, thriving wooer. Good or bad news that thou comest in so bluntly?
Bad news, my lord. Ely is fled to Richmond.
Go, muster men. We must be brief when traitors brave the field.
The Earl of Richmond had sailed back from exile to claim Elizabeth and the crown.
My lord, the army of Great Buckingham is...
Out on you! Owls, nothing but songs of death.
The news I have to tell your majesty is that by sudden flood and fall of water, Buckingham's army is dispersed and scattered, and he himself wandered away alone.
I cry thee mercy. There is my purse to cure that blow of thine.
Liege, the Duke of Buckingham is taken. That is the best news. That the Earl of Richmond is with a mighty power landed at Milford is colder tidings. Yet they must be told.
Away towards Salisbury. While we reason here, a royal battle might be won and lost.
Tell me, thou villain slave, where are my children?
Thou toad, where is thy brother Clarence?
Be patient and entreat me fair and brief, good mother, for I am in haste.
Art thou so hasty? I have stayed for thee, God knows, in torment and in agony.
And came I not at last to comfort you?
Thou camest on earth to make the earth my hell. Therefore take with thee my most grievous curse. Bloody thou art, bloody will be thy end. Shame serves thy life, and doth thy death attend.
Though he was beset with troubles, the hunchback king did not forget his friends. He gave orders for the Duke of Buckingham to be put to death. Now he was prepared for battle on Bosworth Field.
Here will I lie tonight. But where tomorrow? Well, all's one for that. Stir with the lark tomorrow, gentle Norfolk.
I warrant you, my lord.
Give me a bowl of wine. I have not that alacrity of spirit nor cheer of mind that I was wont to have. Leave me.
By thy guile betrayed to death, tomorrow in the battle think on me. Despair and die. In a bloody battle end thy days. Think on Lord Hastings. Despair and die.
Dream my presence, smothered in the tower.
Despair and die.
Richard, thy wife, that wretched Anne, thy wife. Tomorrow in the battle, think on me.
Despair and die.
First was I that helped thee to the crown. The last was I that felt thy tyranny. Who in the battle think of Buckingham and die in terror of thy guiltiness.
Soft. I did but dream. What do I fear? Myself. Is there a murderer here? No. Yes. I am. Then fly? What? From myself? Let not our babbling dreams affright our souls. Conscience is but a word that cowards use, devised at first to keep the strong in awe. Our strong arms be our conscience, swords our law. The sun will not be seen today, not shine today. Why, what is that to me more than to Richmond?
Arm, my lord! The foe vaunts in the field!
Come, bustle, bustle. March on, join bravely. Let us to it pell-mell. If not to heaven, then hand in hand to hell. A horse. My kingdom for a horse.
Withdraw, my lord. I'll help you to a horse.
Slave, I have set my life upon a cast, and I will stand the hazard of the die. I think there be 6 Richmonds in the field. 5 have I slain today instead of him.
England hath long been mad and scarred herself. The brother blindly shed the brother's blood. The father rashly slaughtered his own son. The son compelled been butcher to the sire. All this divided York and Lancaster. O now let Richmond and Elizabeth, the true succeeders of each royal house, by God's fair ordinance conjoin together. Now civil wounds are stopped, peace lives again. That she may long live here, God say Amen.